Alright, Chocks and Chockettes, in between Chocobirds here for another video review. It's the new Cadbury Delights Soft Nougat Orange and Caramel. Yeah, so yeah, looking forward to these. I think just come out of nowhere really, to be honest with you. Don't really know what to expect from them. Look, I don't know, they don't look a sort of premium bar, I think you'd say, but they do look interesting. I'm very interested in trying these out really. Yeah, and thanks to Stephen Brader as well for mentioning these in the comments. I already had these ones, but he did give me a tip off that the other ones should be available at Asda, so I did look in my local one, Stephen, if you're watching. Unfortunately, they weren't there. They only had these ones, and it seemed like there was room for the others, but they weren't there. So I don't know whether they'd all sold out. I don't believe that'd be the case, because there was a few of these left over. But they certainly weren't there. So maybe they're still in the back room and they've just not put them out yet. But there's some others in the range, as I mentioned. Hazelnut flavour and caramel seems to be a standard one. And salted caramel, which also I guess is a standard one. And so I guess the orange caramel one sounds quite most interesting to me, but the salted caramel one I do like the sound of as well. Obviously it's got the orange coloration here. Green seems to be the standard for hazelnut, doesn't it? And then blue for salted caramel. So I quite like the way they keep to that standard, even though it's perhaps unwritten. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Look, it reminds me very much like a sort of US Milky Way, basically. Milky Way in the US is essentially a UK Mars bar, but slightly different. But these ones, yeah, I don't know, look, yeah, they look like they could be sort of a Milky Way beta, these, basically. So we'll see. Obviously, this one's orange flavour, 91 calories, 5 bars in the pack, 100% sustainable source cocoa, but I'd always look into that if you're interested, because 100% is a bold claim via the Cocoa Life plan, treatwise.net, this, that and the other. There we go, some information there. Open up for a delightfully yummy treat, it says. Okay, looks like it's got like a sort of tissue box opening. Soft nougat, orange caramel. Soft orange flavoured nougat and caramel encased in a generous layer of Cadbury milk chocolate. So not necessarily dairy milk, but Cadbury. So they say that with a Cadbury's fingers, don't you think it's Cadbury milk chocolate? But, you know, it's got some shenanigans going on here. What does it say? 400 grams, 415 calories. So that's well below the normal 500 to 550 that chocolate bars and things seem to have from my review experience. 16 grams of fat, 7.9 of which are saturates. Per 22 gram bar, 91 calories, 3.4 grams of fat, 1.7 of which are saturates. Some other stuff there, Mondelez Super Vegetarians. It's still got the Queen approved symbol, not the King yet. By appointment to Her Majesty the Queen, Cocoa and Chocolate Manufacturers Cadbury UK Limited, Bourneville. I don't know whether that'll ever change, because maybe they're appointed by the Queen, so it'll always be the Queen, I don't know. Not sure how that works, really. There we go. Anything else? High in fibre, it says. Have you tried our other flavours? We've got the all this here. Say yes to Cadbury Delights, a range of delightfully yummy bars, each with 91 calories. Bite through a generous layer of Cadbury milk chocolate you know and love to discover a ribbon of oozing caramel over a bed of soft orange flavoured nougat for a light-hearted moment of delight when you need it. That's quite a nice description. Right, milk chocolate with soft orange flavoured nougat, 45%, and rice crisp, 3.5%. So there's actually crunchy bits in there as well, which is interesting. Wouldn't have guessed that. It calls it soft nougat. You know, so interesting. 3.5%. Sensor and a layer of caramel, 21%. So is that up to 66%? 69.5. 69.5% there. So I don't know what the rest of it is. Okay, probably infer it, but there we go. So it's got palm fat in there. So bear that in mind. You know, as it's talking about sustainably sourced stuff, but obviously, you know, palm, even if it's sustainably sourced, it's still you know, and has an environmental impact. So that's why I would always look into it. Milk chocolate, milk soy is 40% minimum. Contains vegetable fats in addition to cocoa butter. There we go. Made license from Cadbury. It's got the Mondelez address down there. Such vegetarians, not sure if I've said that before. Alright, there we go. Yeah. Alright, well, I think we need to look into this further. Give it an open. Looks very interesting. See how it looks on the inside then. Let's do it. Let's give it an open. Right, okay, I'm going to give these Cadbury Delights Soft Nougat Orange and Caramel an open. Look very interesting indeed. Got like a sort of tissue box affair. Open it from this side, I think, actually. It's usually not open it from this side, from the front. Open it from the side, but I guess it all works the same. Open up for a delightfully yummy treat. So I like the way they put that on the actual bit where you open it, which actually is good. Alright, so we'll give it a bit of an open then. Let's see. Alright. Yes, not bad. Okay, so you can see, I mean, it's scrunched up a bit there, but there's definitely room there. I would say, you know, they put the bunch up a bit, but with the wrappers and things, you could probably fit in an extra one. There's a lot of room there. They don't need to have that extra room, really, so, you know, And I imagine there's probably a load of room. In fact, I can see already, look, you can see already the end, you know, I mean, there's a ridiculous amount of empty space in here. But you can see that one there, just ends about that point, so all this space here nothing. Then he times it by that many over the top, you know. All right, so they're very small. We can already see here, already, just without the flourishes, or even with the flourishes rather, you know, just how, yeah, look at that, you know. Take it out of the box in a minute, but you can clearly see here, this box is ridiculously big compared to what you actually get in it. All right, well, let's give the actual bar a look at. It looks quite nice, actually. It does look pretty good. I like the look of it. Cadbury Delights, orange caramel. 91 calories. I've never tasted so good. They are very small. Got the same information as on the actual box, really. 22 grams. Welcome to Majesty the Queen. So vegetarians, fair trade. Cocolife.org. Oh, shenanigans under there. Ingredients as well. Right, let's give it an actual open, shall we? So, yeah, so time we've done about 990 reviews, I think, believe it or not. So if you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. In the top right corner, to place all my reviews, got some related ones, other Cadbury ones, other orange ones, stuff like that. So, yeah, if you watch this one, go check this out. Hope you enjoy this too. Wow, look at this. It's very, I mean, it's very small. I mean, look at this. I mean, just, it's ridiculous. I mean, look at that. I mean, there you go. Right, so, you know, you've got 5 of these in this whole box. 5 of them in this big box. I mean, look at that. I mean, that is almost our bar again. Almost. It's well over, it's about, I don't know, 60% by the looks of it. I mean, just, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This is terrible. Terrible. I mean, look, and even the height as well. The height. It's not just the width this time. It's even the height. I don't know if I can quite really show you. I don't know how to show it very well, but I mean, I think you can see quite clearly here. Look at that. It almost fit them double again height-wise. So the amount of these you could fit in here for the same volume is ridiculous. I mean, it's at least... I mean, I tried to think how many it is. It's probably about 3-4 times as many of them you could fit in here, if not more than that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, it is literally ridiculous. Probably one of the most ridiculous ones I've ever seen. I'm not far off anyway. Okay, well, I'll give it a bit of a measure then. I mean, I could be here all day measuring this, but I think you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. And comparing it to the box. 8.1 centimetres width there. And length. And width. 2.8, 2.9, 2.9. Height. 1.1. So it's 1.1 in height, so bear that in mind. So if we measure the height of the box using this, 1.9. So you know what I mean? So only 2 millimeters off. In theory, having double space. I mean, there's the thickness of the cardboard and stuff like that, but you know what I mean. Okay, got my measuring stick here. So yeah, so the width of the box, pretty much 18 centimeters exactly. So the width of these, 2.8, so 3 centimeters, let's say. So that's 6 in width, basically. You could fit 6 of them. So, you know, you could fit more in because they're not 3 centimeters, but we just rounded up to make it simple. You know what I mean? So you could fit 6 in, plus you could almost fit in double the height, you know. And then there's all the space on the top. I mean, how it's a bit longer at the ones at the middle. This one's 8.1 there. 8.1 in height, but as I say, I've measured a little knobble on that one, so we're giving it some very... It's about 13.5 centimeters it is. You know, so basically, yeah, so you could at least, so it's at least half, isn't it? I mean, it's 13 centimeters, 8, so it's 5 centimeters more, you know, so it's over half, isn't it? So maybe mine is 6, so you could fit an extra 3, because you could fit in 6, an extra 3, so that's 9 at least of them in there. And then the fact that, you could almost fit in double from the height. So we just from the width alone, you could fit in basically in the missing bit at the top, at least another half of the 6, at least another 3 for sure, but I'm sure it's more like, you know, another 5 in there. But we'll keep it simple. We'll just say from the width, and this on the other, rather than 5, you could fit in 9, basically, you know, from the space that's in here. But let's say the space of the actual height as well could in theory fit in more, but we'll keep it simple because it's, you know, it's not a massive space, but you know, yeah, we'll just keep it simple. But there's at least 9 you could fit in from the empty space, you know. Not counting the height, but just the width and the volume of the box itself, based on the fact that it'll only be we're not talking about the height of the box, just the space in You know, we're not talking about the depth, the Z dimension, or whatever you want to say. The Z axis, we're not talking about that. We're just using Y and X axis. All right, hope that makes sense. All right, so let's give it a bit of a snap then, shall I? I was going to chop it, but we'll give it a bit of a snap. There you go. All right, so it looks pretty good, actually. It's very small. I mean, you know, it's saying like you get loads for 91 calories, but it's a very small bar. But it does look pretty good. It does look like a sort of smaller, it seems smaller than Milky Way almost, really, in height-wise. I think the width is probably the same, or the length rather is probably the same as a Milky Way, but the height is not as tall. But it looks pretty good. Bit of an orange smell, sort of. There we go. That's what we're up against. If it's is it focused in? There we go. I think it is. A bit smaller than the American Milky Way. It's basically a UK Mars bar. Well, there we go. But all right, well, I think we've had a look at it. I think we need to taste it. So let's set myself up, give it a taste. Okay, then everyone, going to give these new Cadbury Delights soft nougat, orange and caramel a taste. Yeah, so quite excited for these ones. Very small, basically. Could fit in the space at least 9 rather than 5. But even more really in practice, but we've just kept it to 9 to keep it simple, but there we go. So they are quite small. You can see here, as I say, we've got one we opened it, so slotted it back together just about. You can see it is very small compared to the actual box, so you know, we've gone into detail about that when we opened it, so yeah, but there we go. But yeah, as you can probably imagine, you could fit in a lot more than 5. Alright, let's give it a bit of a taste, shall we? So yeah, we'll resplit it. It's stuck back together quite well, actually. Let's give it a go. Let's do it. Good chew. It's got a very small amount of Rice Krispie pieces in there. And they do give a little, very slight crunch. Very slight, but enough, like a micro crunch almost. Nice and chewy. Reminds me, if it's a caramel that's adding that chew or the nougat itself or just a combination of both, but a bit more like a Snickers insofar as the chew's concerned. Catches in the throat a bit. Got a subtle orange taste. I don't know what was actually flavoured orange, did it say? Orange flavoured nougat. I think that's probably true as well. You know, it's not like the chocolate or anything. It's quite a subtle orange flavour, but it's definitely there, but it is subtle. It's got a good chew to it. I think the gist of it is it doesn't taste exceptionally great, but it's got a good, solid sort of all-round appeal to it. You know, basically, it's just got a good chew to it, a good consistency. You know, you get the caramel experience, you get the sort of orange experience, but you know, nothing amazingly so. But they're definitely there. The chocolate's nothing that stands out either. You know what I mean? But it works as a whole with the package, and the whole thing together is a good package. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of thing where it all just works together, but it's not exceptional. Each component in itself is not really that much of a standout, but together they give you a good eating experience, and it's quite nice. It's more like a little snack bar, as you say, but I feel like it's a bit. It doesn't really have anything that stands out particularly, so it's quite. You know, it's okay at what it does. It's quite chewy. It lasts quite a long time. It's got a slight orange flavour. It gives you the experience of caramel. It's got a slight sort of crunch to it, but nothing really stands out that much. You know. Reminds me a bit of a sort of like a wafer bar almost, where it's got some things in it, but you know, it doesn't really stand out massively in any respect, you know. So this one obviously is nougat and a bit more interesting, but it's like a flavoured wafer bar, something like that, where you get the experience of the flavour, but it doesn't really bowl you over, you know. It's there and you get what you're expecting, but nothing more, nothing less really. And it's a bit like that with this, maybe to an extent though, because it does come across a bit more like a chocolate bar generally. It's almost reminds me a bit like a fudge bar as well, where in Cadbury Fudge, where you know, it kind of gives you what it gives you, but you feel a bit sort of like you've not really, you know, you've got what you paid for. You've got like a very cheap chocolate bar, and it's giving you something. It does have a consistency, it does have a taste experience, but they're nothing amazingly fabulous. You know, you really don't feel like you've been blown away, and it's a bit like that with this. Really, even it looks great, and I feel I feel like it looks and sounds the part, but just doesn't quite deliver on the taste. And I feel like you know that's going to be the case when you get it. Really, it's a strange one. But nonetheless, I feel like it's a slight cut above a typical sort of bar of its kind, like a low-calorie bar. You know, it does come across quite well. But I think, but it's quite small. You know what I mean? So it's not like you're getting a lot for your calories. You are just getting probably just a smaller version of a chocolate bar. You know, I've had a sort of like a Mars bar condensed into 91 calories. It'd probably be the same size and this, that, and the other, but still tastes like a Mars bar. With this one, I feel like I've got something that isn't really like. I don't know if for sure it would be the same size, but you know what I mean. But this one, I feel like I've got something that's just not really. It feels like it's a sort of, you know, a bar that's not as good as other bars, but is getting away with it because it's smaller. But then, as I say, if you got a Mars bar and only get 91 calories worth, maybe it'd be about the same size. So, you know, I'm not sure if it's really, you know, if it's a bit of a cheat, really, if that makes sense. You know, I feel if most chocolate manufacturers just made the bars smaller, you know, they would give you the same experience, but better with better chocolate bars, really. You know, if you know what I mean. But it's not a bad experience all the same. I say it's got a good chew. There's little micro crunches from the sort of the Rice Krispie pieces are quite nice. Then you just add a little bit to it. I say it's a good chew. It does last for quite some time. You get a subtle orange flavour. Maybe would like a bit more. All in all, it's just pretty good. I don't think it's as good as a Milky Way as far as the Nougat's concerned. I feel like it's got the longevity kind of a Snickers, but again, doesn't really feel as good. I feel like it's okay, but it just gives you something a bit more with that okayness, if that makes sense. All of it's just everything in it is nice and interesting, but it doesn't really blow my socks off. You know, I don't feel like the orange blows my socks off. I don't feel like the caramel particularly blows my socks off. I feel like it's got a good chew to it, but I don't feel like I'm getting particularly much of a taste experience from it, even though, yeah, I don't know. So I do quite like chewy chocolates and things, but you know, I don't know. I feel like with more flavour, it might have worked a bit better, or just more oomph in it, you know. But it's just missing something, I think. Nonetheless, it works better than some of its parts, but just not massively so. It's about what you'd probably expect, I think, is the gist of it. I think, yeah. So I think for me, it's borderline average, but I think just above, just because of the fact that it's just a bit more. It's just quite solid in its own right. But I feel like if it was a full-size bar, you definitely scrutinise it a bit more, and I feel like that's how it's getting away with its relative mundanity, really. But it's still not bad. So yeah, so I think for me, just about a 3.5 out of 5. Okay, guys, let me know what you think of these ones, and let me know if you've had the others in the range as well, the mint one and the salted caramel one. I'm going to look for those. Hopefully you'll see them soon on the channel. Yeah, you know the drill by now, I'm sure. Leave a comment off it. Always great to hear from you. Always doing best to reply. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Check out the YouTube member program. Go to support the channel and go to see more content. Check out the Discord server as well. Great way to keep in touch with myself and the community. Please subscribe and like, as I say, and have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye for now. See ya.